What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the weekly roundup. We've been gone for a little bit. Life got in the way, but we are back to talking about what we love. I'm Carlos from Omni City Comics, and I'm joined by Manny from Manny Reads Comics, and
how's it going, everyone?
And Nick from Vinyl Casket Comics. How you guys doing today?
What's up, guys? I'm here and I'm ready to show you guys some amazing taste.
The lamest taste, yes.
The lamest taste is the most amazing.
Manny, I gotta ask: Did you do the weekly prediction on what Nick's worst picks are gonna be? Because you're usually right. You're usually pretty cool, at least.
No, I didn't really want to bring myself down this week, so I stayed away.
No, go for it. Go for it. We can start the show with you being wrong.
I'm good. Let's go ahead and start the show.
No, for the audience, for my fans, I would very much appreciate. What do you think my top pick is going to be?
Throw it up, man. Throw it up real quick before I break down what we do here at the Weekly Roundup, and let's see if you're right.
Hold on. He absolutely 100%.
100%.
Out of his pool that I'm looking at right now, his top three in no order, just top three. Right. Ben Reilly, Spiderman, Deathstroke, Teen Titans Academy. Those are his top three.
He definitely didn't watch my live review that I did earlier today, so let's get it going.
We'll see. For everybody that's watching and it's your first time tuning in, what we like to do here at the Weekly Roundup is first go over our top three picks for the week. Like to give you our reasons why. We all chime in a little bit. And then after that, we go with our disappointment of the week. And that can be a whole issue. It can be some comic news related. It could be something that one of our favorite characters did. Whatever it may be, it's just something that we saw it, we read it, and it disappointed us. Then after that, we like to get a little bit more positive and give you guys our favorite cover of the week. That could be something that we pulled. It could be a variant, that we pulled. It could even be a cover that we didn't necessarily get the chance to get, but it was our favorite cover. And then we finish it up with letting you guys know what we are excited for coming next week in our polls, what we're most excited to read. But before we get fully started, I want to give you guys a breakdown of our brackets, because we are doing a yearly bracket every month, every week. We are rating what our favorite comic books are, and we're putting them up against other books that we read the following week and month. For me, last week, it would have been World's Finest #1. Great book. Man, I just enjoyed the hell out of that book. It was perfect.
And what was your one the week before? Because we skipped 2 episodes.
We missed 2 weeks.
Yeah, and the week before that, it was Devil's Reign X-Men #2. So those have been my 2 top picks over the last 2 weeks. Manny, what were your picks?
For me, last 2 weeks ago, I chose 7 Secrets #15, 100%. It's just a great book. You should definitely read it if you're not. And then just like Carlos, last week, World's Finest was a surprise hit. Yep. I don't read much of Wade. I didn't read his Flash run, Nick. Shut up.
You missed it out.
But Wade lived up to the hype. Absolutely.
But seriously though, I told you, man, the combo of Mark Waid and Dan Mora, it was just gonna be a good book, man.
It was amazing. It was just fun. That's all. Yep. Like that's literally 100%. All it was. Nick, what's yours?
Nick.
So 2 weeks ago was Devil's Reign, Moon Knight one shot.
That was good. Yeah,
it was solid. I wish it would have come out when it should have come out, but
that was solid.
Solid. It went up against Rogue Sun 1 and lost. And then last week was Nightwing 90,
which is another good book.
Yeah, it's
we
really
had
good.
Some amazing covers.
Enjoyed it, man.
I got the ratio cover also last week. For that.
Yeah. Good stuff. But yeah,
Nightwing's gonna be a hard one to beat.
All right. just crickets.
It's been a solid book, and I was thinking, man, is it gonna be like that? One of those books to beat for me for the year? I have to say that it's definitely gonna make the top 5, like just best overall comic runs for the year, man, because it's been good. But
it'll be top 12.
All right, let's get it. Let's get it, Carlos. Let's get into some top three.
Let's get it going. We'll see what books make it this week. For me, my number 3 pick this week, it's Devil's Reign X-Men number 3, making a
appearance.
Appearance again. It's not the top pick, this week, but I think that it was a strong conclusion to the Time miniseries. And I've honestly made it no secret that I'm not a fan of tie-ins, especially when they're like more than one issue. But Devil's Reign X-Men has been it's been good, man. It's been surprised, it's been consistent, and it's really played into the overall theme of the Devil's Reign event. So in this issue, we see Emma Frost after she gets finally captured, and everything that she does to get out of the situation that she's in, and we get more background into Elektra when she was a villain, and what I believe were the first steps into her leaving the Hand and leaving that life and transitioning into being an anti-hero, and then eventually what we know her as today as a hero. And it all started with her deciding that she was not going to kill a little girl that ended up seeing her commit a murder on behalf of the Kingpin. And this issue, we kind of see her, I wouldn't say taking care of that little girl, but at least checking in on her and showing some affection towards somebody else. And then also how Emma ended up playing into this whole role, as she was also an agent for Kingpin back in the day. But it was a solid conclusion. I don't want to give too much away because I think this really is a miniseries worth reading. Artwork is great. I love Phil Noto. He's just been consistent, and yeah, that's why it's my number 3 pick. Great overall miniseries, great art, good storyline, good themes, and great character background and exploration.
Carlos, you left out the best part of this whole issue.
What?
Union Jack, bro.
Dude.
When was the last time you saw anything about Union Jack? I forgot he was a character.
King in Black. That's when he came back.
Yeah. What?
I didn't even I must not have read that tie-in.
Yeah. No, it was like a 5-issue tie-in, but
yeah. But
that guy's lame.
but he got absolutely overtaken by Emma, as he should, man. I mean, it's Emma Frost.
The fact that he even got a punch in the last issue was very electric.
For sure.
No, I'm gonna go ahead and mark off my number 2 pick because that was Devil's Reign X-Men number 3.
Oh, nice.
So that was my number 2. And for basically the same reason as yours, I will say that without giving too much away, Emma was a complete badass at the end of the issue. That's why that last 2 pages is what gave me all right, I'm gonna bump it up to number 2.
A bump? Yeah.
No, that's a good pick. I like that.
Yeah.
So moving on to my number 3 though. My number 3 is a book from Scout Comics. King's Vengeance issue number 2.
Oh.
This one's been coming out slowly. Unfortunately, it's taking 2-month breaks in between. So
yeah, dude.
Issue number 2.
I was gonna say, sorry to cut in, but dude, I absolutely forgot about the book, and I have to be honest, I missed it at my shop. I didn't know it was out because it's been gone it's been longer than 2 months, man.
Breaks, man. I thought it was 2 months, but it could be longer, honestly. But in this issue, we see basically how the king was brought back. He's on a mission of revenge, and the way he announces his return is throughout the book. The whole book is just him announcing, "I am back, and I am gonna get revenge on whoever did him wrong." And it was just really badass. Most of it was just action. Half of it was backstory on how he came back. But for the most part, the art is kind of weird, but it works for this story. It's not horrible. It's very cartoony.
It's very unique.
Yeah, I like it. And colors were amazing. I can't tell you who was the colors, but it was a good book. It deserved number 3 out of all the rest of the books that I read.
Nice, man. I gotta catch up. I mean, there's only 2 issues, but I read the first issue. Jesus, man. Like I said, I feel like it
it came out a really long time ago. I remember you mentioning it.
I think it came out
last year,
January. Like
beginning of the year, or like December, man. It's been forever.
It's been a while.
Damn. Okay. Cool. Nick,
You guys
what do you
ready?
got, man?
Are you
Do
ready
this.
for this? Number 3 pick of the week is issue 3 of Ben Reilly Spider-Man.
Look at that. That's one. I said it. Called it. That's one off. Because it sucked. Anyways,
First off, did not suck.
I didn't read it. So I can't say that.
Artwork, interior artwork on this has been incredible. It's actually really good. It's actually, even though it's inspired by the 90s, it doesn't give me really 90s vibes artwork wise at all. It gives me a way more updated modern take on that, which a lot of what Marvel has been doing with these whole books that are like stories set in the 90s but are like modernized are really well drawn.
Yep.
But yeah, I liked it. I like how they're developing as Ben as a character in those like little periods of time where we didn't get any development about him. With the gaps between different storylines, between him taking on the mantle and then his first big story arc, which I believe was taking on Venom.
It was.
That was his first big villain was Venom.
Villain. Yeah, first real big villain.
But in here, he's taking on Lady Ock. He's taking on Scorpion. But like, are they actually who they are? Like, who is he hallucinating? And you get to see a little bit more of why that is, and him like he gave this character that used to be a villain a hard time, but now he's like considering that person his friend. I'm really enjoying it. That's why it's my number 3 pick of the week. I've consistently all 3 issues so far have made my top 3 when they've come out.
Okay. I don't understand why give him character growth in the past when they're making stories of him right now where his character is not the same as the character growth that's happening that you're seeing. So it's kind of like a slap in the face. Like he could have been this great character, and this is what we would have done.
To be honest, the character that they're writing about here is a different Ben Reilly than the one that we have now.
That's what I'm saying. That's the slap in the face. Like you're having a great character in this 90s issue. This is what happened in between, but now the current and today's Ben Reilly, he's just a shitty guy that like has got his memory messed up. So like that's why I have a issue liking it, because like it could be great, but it's just too late.
I have to agree with you, Nick, in what you mentioned, that it has that 90s, feel to art and just the overall vibe, but with a very modern approach to it. And it's good, man. I really like the art. This is actually a fun book, honestly. All 3 issues have been good. There's been, like you mentioned, great character development for Ben. The action is great, but I also have to agree with Manny. Every time that I read this book, I think, man, this only makes me more disappointed for the whole approach that's been taken in Beyond when it comes to Ben. I feel like he's been overshadowed, and it started off really strong. Not to deviate too much from the subject, but it started off really strong, and then it's almost like he's just become a plot device to make it to the next volume of Spider-Man.
No, I agree with you. I really do. It sucks because he is a good character.
And I don't know, but overall, though, this is good. I liked it.
One of the things that always annoys me is how much shit Clone Saga got.
Still gets.
Yeah. But like, if you reread it, it's not bad.
It really isn't. It's just a lot, man.
It's because the people that endured it for like 4 years straight of this story arc.
It burns you out, man.
Wouldn't end, had multiple different tie-ins and titles.
Yeah.
So like, I understand people hate it because it was a suffer. Like you had to suffer through that. All right, Carlos, what's your number 2?
For me, number 2, this one is actually a surprise because I ended up picking it just on a whim. and because I've been really liking what DC's been doing with their DC Black Label, and just like the kind of Elseworlds style, I guess, kind of books. But it's a Rogues #1, and pretty much this has to do with.
I can already tell based off Manny's face. You just said his #1 pick.
No,
It has
that's
to
not my
do.
#1 pick. Absolutely not.
It has to do with the Flash's rogues. So you got Captain Cold. You got what's her name? Golden Glider. You got Gorilla Grodd. Basically, all of his villains. In the future. It takes like 10 years in the future when they're basically like former villains, and now they have been just through hell in their life, going to prison, having to pay restitution for all of the damage and crimes that they've been committed. Basically, they are like down in the dumps in life, right? And Captain Cold comes up with one last major heist to turn it all around and get what they're deserved, right? That's the basic premise of the book. And again, I don't want to give too much away because I think this is really a story that's worth reading. But what I enjoyed about it is that the characterization is great. It's got good humor, and it's got a lot of moments where even though they're villains, you actually feel for them and you think, man, this is shitty. Like crime does not pay. The artwork, it's great. You get a real gritty world building to the setting. It's just a really good book, and it surprised me because again, the dialogue is great, the artwork is great, the premise of the story is good, and it's actually pretty. It's unique enough when it comes to the telling story of older characters. Has somewhat of the same vibe as Catwoman, Lonely City, where again you see these heroes in the future when they're older, and it's a bleak future, but it's not super dystopian. It just happens to be that these characters again are down in the dumps at the absolute bottom, and you get to see what they need to do, or what they're going to do at the absolute lowest point of their life. And it's interesting to see that from a villain's point of view, especially a whole rogues gallery of the Flash. And I'm not really a Flash reader. I've read minimal Flash books, but I found myself really enjoying these characters. It was just a surprise, and I think it's really worth the read. But that's why it's my #2 pick.
It's oversized, right?
I mean, guess kind of. Or you're talking about the format, right?
Yeah.
Like the prestige format? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's the premiere or whatever.
Yeah.
As soon as I hear
I don't like that.
I have a format that I need.
Yeah.
All right. Like I need you to stick to it. So
it sucks because like Swamp Thing, Green Hell, I'm committed to it because it was really good. But dude, I don't have bags and boards for that. I don't have anywhere to put that in my boxes.
See, for me, well, #1, my shop doesn't hate me, so they give me a bag and board that fits it. And #2, I just put it in my section with all of my omnibuses. Like there's a section where I got all my omnibuses, and I have a section where I can put some books, man, that are
I guess.
Yeah, but that makes you a faker, man. Like, look at you. You think you have a bunch of omnibuses, but that's not an omnibus. That's one issue. You liar.
They're separated. They're separated. You got all of the omnibuses, and then there's a section where it's clearly prestige form. Get out of here.
You're a phony, man. You're a phony,
dude. Seriously,
move it to Nick.
Worth the read, guys. Worth the read.
All right, we're going my second pick of the week. #2 for this week is gonna be Screw You, Manny, issue 7 of Deathstroke Inc.
Oh, look at that! 2 for 2. 2 for 2.
That's all you get.
That's so weird.
He made a crucial mistake. To be honest with you, so this, I can't believe you guys aren't reading this because it's building into this event.
Shadow War.
Shadow War.
Well, I've never really read Deathstroke before, so
Yeah, but it's gonna be big for this event. That's gonna be crossing over between this book, Robin, and Batman.
right, Batman, yeah.
They're all written by Williamson. It's insane because right now we've had this whole build up to this point, which I never saw coming. Between Black Siren, Black Canary, and Deathstroke, and the secret society using them to do this stuff, and it turns out that Deathstroke kind of just flips the card and takes over, and now has this army where he's going up against the Legion of Evil.
Assassins? Oh, Legion of Evil.
Is that what it's called? League of Evil?
No,
League of Assassins?
I just thought maybe you were talking about
No, what are all the super villains called?
The Legion of Doom?
Legion of Doom. He's like they're now concerned at the end of this issue of what's going on with him. But the major point of this issue is we get to see where Ravager and Respawn go after
Robin
9.
Ooh, okay. Then I may want to read that because I was legitimately interested in knowing what happened.
I guess I can't spoil what happens, even though I really want to.
I did read the spoiler, but yeah, if Carlos is gonna read it, I wouldn't spoil it. But
Carlos, are you okay with me spoiling it?
Sure, why not? Go for it.
You probably aren't gonna have enough time in your life to read it anyway.
I bet you the rest of the book doesn't matter, and it's just like this.
No, it was a solid book.
That's all that matters.
You know what? It built the whole thing up. It's a really solid book. I like the artwork, and I'm loving where the direction of the story's been going. But the big spoiler here is that we find out the identity of Respawn.
Oh, we find it there. All right. I'm interested. Just tell me.
So there's this big fight between Respawn, Ravager, and Deathstroke. And Deathstroke's immediately saying, why are you yelling at his daughter, why are you allowing Damien to be in my son's costume? Yelling at him.
Damien, okay.
Yeah. He's like, it's not Damien, blah, blah, blah. Takes the mask off. It is a white-haired Damien.
What the fuck?
It is a clone that Ra's al Ghul made using Deathstroke's DNA and Talia's DNA.
So it's basically Damien, but
okay.
With like,
I'm curious. Do they touch on the fact of why he hates the regular Damien? Is just because he was made because of him? Like because in the Robin book, he wants to fucking kill Damien
It's because Ra's al Ghul tortured him.
Oh, okay. All right,
and he thought like he would see how good Damien's life is, even though Damien was like very spoiled and like a spoiled brat. And he's just like, he's got the good life. I have he's the man in the iron mask, basically.
Okay. Now, question real quick. This clone that Ross made, this has nothing to do with the previous storyline of all of the clones that were made that Talia made, right? Because I think in the past Talia made
Talia has no idea about this.
And they were okay, cool. So this is Ross also making clones, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, I'll allow it.
It's just a recycling of a storyline.
Yeah, kind of.
You know what? We had a lot of buildup in the Robin title, so that's why this made my number 2 for this week. Is that it's a different title, but it quenched my thirst for finding this out, and it was good. It wasn't like Teen Titans with the Red X reveal, which was garbage.
Yeah, I agree there. Yeah,
like they built up for like 10 plus issues of what's this going to be, and it finally gave me what I wanted.
Okay, cool.
And it was good, and I like the artwork, and I love the cover art. And I'm excited. Basically, Deathstroke and Respawn are on the same side going into this event.
Nice.
So, okay.
Ravager gets kicked off a building.
And just out of curiosity, last thing, is it explained why this clone that Roz made, like Roz lost control of him and why he decided to, out of everybody in the world dress up in a Deathstroke inspired suit. Like that just seems weird.
He was the son of had Deathstroke's DNA.
I don't
Oh,
think
so
he knew.
wait, I thought that it was
From the story. From the story, basically, it's just Ross gave up. He was like, I'm not, because we can see from the Robin book that he gave up his life as like a dictator or whatever, or
Yeah.
evil person. So he
But
just
it's a
kind of
clone using
forgot.
the DNA of Deathstroke and Talia.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and
Alright.
so Ross was kind of like, all right, I'm done doing that. Didn't wrap up anything. He just left all his stuff as it was. So he forgot about this respawn. And respawn was just like, all right, well, I guess I got to get out of this holding, and like saved himself and
Okay.
and
All right.
went on, which is
Cool.
a little ridiculous, but
All right.
yeah. I just
That's
don't see. I just don't see Ross al Ghul being like, oh well, I'm gonna drop everything and leave. Like that was weird.
Well, at that point, didn't we think he was dead?
I guess
Going into this book, we thought he was dead.
I don't know. I didn't read the book. I read these spoiler sections, and that was
Going
it.
into Robin.
Yeah, no,
It was assumed
I
he
don't.
was
I
dead.
don't know what I thought of Ross. I hadn't seen him in a while, so I didn't think about him. You know, like I didn't read
Because
any
when Robin
storyline.
finds him on that island, he's like, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
Right? Yeah, I'm sure. Like they thought he was dead. I'm saying me personally, I didn't think about Ra's al Ghul. I hadn't read him in any book. I didn't even see him in like the year of the villain or anything like that. So I just wasn't thinking about him.
It'd been a long time since he was. I mean, I took a long break from Batman, but I can't remember the last time that he was.
Yeah, he wasn't in
Right.
King's Run at all.
At all,
I
right?
just wasn't thinking about him. I didn't know what happened to him. I just assumed that he went to the bar for villains and stayed there for a while, and then that's it.
All right, Carlos.
Yeah.
Number one.
Number one, man. I've been saying it. This is gonna be the book of the year to beat for me. It's Human Target number 6, man. Dude,
I keep hearing good things. I keep hearing good things.
It is one of the absolute best books out there. I gotta say, man, I think that the best description that I can give this book, like in one word, is that it is charismatic, and that specifically applies to the character of Christopher Chance and Ice. Like their relationship and the way they interact, it is just charismatic, and it draws you in. Like they are the absolute highlight of this book.
Is fire in the book?
Well, yes and no. Like she has a very big like I guess presence in the book, because the case is starting to form like around her, and right now she is the main suspect of who tried to poison Lex Luthor, but accidentally ended up poisoning Christopher Chance. So in this issue, it's actually when Christopher, everything is leading him to believe that she is the one that ended up poisoning Lex, because of the role that he played in the death of Ice, like many years ago when she was part of Justice League International. And from my understanding and from what I've gathered from this book, I have no real knowledge of the Justice League International or Fire or Ice, all the characters. But Fire and Ice are absolute best friends. Like that is her best friend. And her death weighed really heavy on her. So Christopher believes that she ended up taking revenge after so many years, finding out that Lex had a part to play in her death, and that she's the one that's responsible. And in this issue, Ice naturally ends up getting really mad at him, and this romance that's been building up between them, it's strained because of the fact that he's letting her know, hey, I think that Fire's responsible for trying to poison Lex. And Guy Gardner ends up making another appearance here. And
what is this, a freaking Justice League International book?
Yeah, so it revolves a lot.
Is Booster Gold and Blue Beetle in this too?
Dude, Booster and Blue Beetle have some hilarious moments. I don't even like Booster Gold, but this book
Nick is gonna go read this tonight.
Yeah, right.
Nick is running out and grabbing this book.
Dude, like Booster makes an appearance in issue number 4, I think, and it is the funniest shit that I've read in a long time. But yeah, man, and some crazy shit happens in this issue. The pacing is wonderful. Again, like I mentioned, the dialogue is there, and just the great relationship between Christopher and Ice. It is worth reading, and I can't praise Greg Smallwood's art, more. It has been an absolute visual experience and a highlight to see. So that's why it's my number 1 pick. I think it's going to be the book of overall. I think collectively it's going to be it's going to be the book to beat. For the year. There's one more issue. So there's one more issue, I believe, and the next issue is going to end up finishing out like chapter 1 or like volume 1, whatever. But King announced that he's going to be back to write more Human Target. And it's taking it's going to take a 4-month hiatus, I think. Yeah. But for anyone watching, if you've had a bad experience with Tom King, because his writing style is not his. I think that his Batman, run and his Heroes in Crisis stuff and some of his writing, it's not for everybody. But if you had a bad experience with it in the past, please just do me the favor and read at least the first issue of Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and read at least the first issue of Human Target. And I honestly do think that you're gonna be surprised and you're gonna be in for a treat. So. Anyways, that's why it's my number 1 pick.
Nice. All right, so my number 1 pick, and it's not. I'm not saying it's number 1 because it's the best thing in the world, but it's just my number 1 pick of the week. That's it. It's Robin number 12. Robin has been great. It's been a great run, but I just feel like it's always been more of a 4th, 5th level kind of pick, and this week it was the number 1. Sure. So in this issue, the fighters of Lazarus, they leave the island. Robin goes back to Gotham. He makes some tough decisions. And then we get revealed that Flatline is probably not all that she's cut out to be. That killed me, but we don't know. It could be a trick on both ends. We don't know. So I really do like Damian's continued growth. His friendship with Hawk was really great to see. The whole drawing that panel with Batman and Green Arrow above them, that was really cool. And then again, that Flatline twist, I didn't like it, but it drew me in more. It's I hate this. I need the next page. You know what I mean? So that's why it's number 1 this week, because it drew me in, and unfortunately, there was nothing else that could beat it.
Okay, all right. So my number 1 is also Robin 12.
All right. Yeah, about time. Good job.
Also, the cover, the cardstock cover.
That cover, yeah, it's pretty cool.
The collection of all the different variant covers that this guy's done.
Manapul has been killing it, man.
It sucks that that's his last cover.
Oh, is it? For real?
Yeah.
Ah, man, that sucks.
It's someone else taking over for the series after.
Kind of makes sense of why he did such a big thing.
Yeah, why every character that he drew so far for one of the variants, all 12 covers.
Yeah, or
all 11 covers are all on this one.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay.
I think first off, the artwork was incredible. It's pretty solid. Williamson's just been really on his game. We've been saying this every episode, but DC only has 3 writers. Tom King, Tom Taylor, and Williamson. Yeah. Literally, it's every book is just the same group of people. I have 2 books in my top 3 by the same guy. But no, you know what? They're building up to this event. I really like that this is going to be an ongoing and not a mini series or a maxi series at this point. It's been really good. I like how Damian had to fight an evil hallucination of himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't notice until recently that his belt buckle is a D.
Yeah, I saw that here too. But I also thought maybe it could be a friendship thing with Hawk. Maybe an arrow kind of thing. Because I think we only noticed it for this issue because I don't think he's had that.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
And I think now, after his whole friendship thing, it could be an Arrow thing, but it could also be a D for Damian, which would be dumb because it's like, hey, secret identity.
The way it's drawn, it's very long in certain panels.
Yeah,
like a D, like it couldn't be an arrow. Oh, you think it's like a bow and arrow?
I know. I think that it's just the way it's drawn in certain, because when you look at it, sometimes it looks like a D, like you're saying, and when you look at it another times, it looks like the arrowhead. And I'm just guessing. I'm not saying it is one way or the other. It's just me assuming.
I really like it. I've liked the storyline. I like how we've delved deeper into the Al Ghul family and the whole origin between these three organizations. You know, I like that. The whole Lazarus thing, which is a major running plot line in DC right now.
Yeah.
It's showing up in other places. Oh well, I guess
yeah.
Task Force Z. I mean, yeah, right.
Yeah, is like a big thing. They've referenced it in Suicide Squad a bunch.
Okay.
You know, it's been pretty prevalent, right? And I am really enjoying it. I really do like this series. And while this wasn't like a major issue where a lot of stuff really happened, it was like a really good develop issue where they really like went from plot point to plot point and kind of rounded things out from what we just saw and where they're going to go.
One point that I want to make before we move on from this is I do like that Robin chose to break the vial and not resurrect Alfred, but I do think that they showed the vial right there on top of Alfred's grave.
It's gonna
seep through. I know that's gonna happen, and it's gonna be so dumb, like, you know. But maybe it'll be to the point where it'll be like, hey, I only got like 2 or 3 drops, so I don't feel the effects fully like everybody else. But I think that's gonna happen, and I'm mad. As soon as I saw it there, I was like,
but without enough resin, he's not gonna be able to.
That's what we think. That's what you think. But comics will be comics, and they'll resurrect.
That's the whole plotline we've been getting through Task Force Z. They've set up like a really thorough explanation of how it works.
Okay. So I haven't been reading that one, so
yeah. So it would make sense if they just defied all the stuff they've built in this one title.
I mean,
I still think he's gonna get resurrected, and it's gonna be like, how are you?
What I want to see is Damian has no idea that Red Hood is working with Bane, half dead Bane. And Batman confronted him in this week's issue of Task Force Z.
Task Force Z.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, are they actually gonna make that? Because I feel like you're trying to make that a thing. I feel like you want that to be connected, but have they actually alluded to that? Like, is Robin really gonna mess with anything when it comes to Task Force Z other than the Lazarus Pits?
I would like to see that crossover because of the fact that Damian's the one that feels responsible that he died.
That makes sense.
And it was cool seeing Red Hood kick Bane off a building for it. But I would rather see Damian
bounce off of Bane's chest, trying to kick him out.
I feel like he deserves that. You know, deserves to do something about it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming because they did that crossover annual thing where Nightwing and Red Hood had a crossover, and all the guys showed up in one of the early issues of Robin.
Yeah, it could be.
So I'm assuming it's possible, especially with Shadow War. I don't know if Task Force Z is going to cross over to Shadow War. They haven't really mentioned it, but it's happening in Gotham, so I would assume it should at least reference it. But yeah.
Cool.
Solid book. Williams is really kicking it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. But moving on, now we're going to talk about our disappointments for the week. Right. So this is Manny's favorite segment because he gets really
I just need a vent.
Let's get the vent, man. Nothing. You know what? I have to say, nothing specific really was coming to mind for me. Like there wasn't really anything, really there. But then last night, like clockwork, something came up, and I have to say, it's it's kind of a disappointment more because of like the conversation that this is creating, and what I'm referring to is a 5-minute clip, deleted scene of the Joker from the Batman movie. Nick, I know you haven't watched it, but there's no real spoilers here. Yeah, more of just very, very, very brief overview. It's just a conversation that Batman has with the Joker, and he's asking him for information regarding the killing Riddler that's happening. That's it. They just have a conversation about it.
This is what, like year 2 Batman?
It's year 2 Batman, correct? Yeah. So, and that's exactly why I'm, all the different conversations that this is sprouting is that there's a lot of people that are praising it, that this scene was amazing. There's a lot of people that are like hating on it, but for me, it's a disappointment because I just think that they're rushing, number one, into the Joker again, and number two, like you mentioned, Nick, this is year 2. So that means that like he already went up against his greatest enemy extremely early on into his career, and I guess like he's the one, he has to be the one that like captured him and put him into Arkham or jail or whatever, right? So I think that takes away from the building up of his career. We saw that, not that it has to be a bad thing. I mean, he went up against, in the Christopher Nolan trilogy, he went up against, Joker, I guess pretty early-ish on in his career as well. But I don't know. I just wasn't digging all that much this version of the Joker and how like they made him look. I know this is a different imagining of it, but I can see why they took out this scene. And I'm just hoping that the Joker becomes more of a, cameo in the background kind of character, at least for the next 1 or 2 movies. And then we see him, become the main villain. I think that, that would work better. But I don't know. I guess it was just kind of a disappointment because I wasn't expecting it. And then I saw like, all these notifications pop up. I clicked on it and it was kind of underwhelming. So I was kind of let down by it. I was hoping that my mind was going to be blown and I was going to say, dude, this shit is crazy. And I wasn't. It was more, oh, this is fun.
It's a scene.
And that's why it's a disappointment. Not because I hate it, but more because it's the Joker, man. It's supposed to be the dude, like, the ultimate Batman villain. And it was more of a, oh, this is cool. This was fun. But anyways.
So I agree with you here because my major problem with Batman movies in general is that they've done so many and they've never gotten far. They never get to the point where there's a Robin. We never see any Robins, unless you count like, Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
Good movies, good Batman movies.
that weren't made.
We've never had a Robin.
20 years ago, no longer, like 20 something years ago.
They're in the 90s, aren't they?
Yeah.
20 years, that's 30 years.
I just would like to see, like, I'm happy to get Catwoman. I am, but I want to see the development, give him a Robin, eventually get Nightwing, because we kind of like what Batman Forever and Batman and Robin did. That Robin wasn't Robin. That Robin was Nightwing at that point. He was a grown man wearing a Nightwing costume.
And some really new villains, man. Again, I'm not hating on the Joker being a villain, but dude, like,
there's a whole bunch of villains.
In the last, let's say 40 years, man. In the last 40 years of like Batman movies, every single movie we really have gotten the same villains. They've been recycled, but that was my disappointment, But yeah, Manny, what we want to get?
My disappointment really does go and connects with my top book of the week. It's just Robin 12. Robin, as in general, shouldn't be a number 1 pick. It shouldn't be my number 1 pick, because it's a good book. It's a good series. It's a top 5, 4 or 5. It's not top 3. And this week it was number 1. because the rest of my books were not that. Not that they weren't they were bad, but it was everything was just average. Everything was just okay. I read that. I'm putting it down.
Yeah, you wait
On
until
to the
next week
one.
when you're like struggling to pick out your top 5.
I hope so. I would rather struggle to pick
That's a good
the
problem to
top
have.
5 than to be
That's a
like,
good problem to have.
yeah, like usually I put my as I read them, I rank them, right? And today when I read my last one, I was like, what's my top 3? I don't know what my top 3 is because I ranked them, but I didn't I wasn't excited about any of them. Robin was great, but it's not a number one excitement. So that was my disappointment. Like this week is the first week of the new year where everything was just average, So like I've been pretty much spoiled these last couple of weeks from January to now, where
100%.
everything has been good. Every week has had like 2 or 3 books that have been amazing. These are my top 3 for sure. This week it was like, oh yeah, I guess Robin. You know what? Robin's my number 1 pick.
Okay.
So that's a disappointment to see. Hopefully we pick it back up next week, but we'll see.
Yep.
All right, I'm ready.
Nick, what's yours, man?
We're doing one. It's a repeat. It's something I've complained about before, and they just keep doing it. Villains for Hire.
All right.
The book sucked.
This the second issue was bad. This one wasn't horrible.
The artwork was terrible. Since when can Rhino not speak?
What do you mean?
We go through wall now. We literally read how they wrote him. He literally isn't speaking English or any grammar at all. But I don't remember him ever being written this way recently.
That makes sense.
That's
true. Valid.
The fact that Agony is even in this book makes 0 sense.
That is random as hell. I'm not gonna lie.
So at the end of Extreme Carnage, which the host in this book is the host that came out of Extreme Carnage.
Yeah.
She runs off with Carnage, and we never see her again, right? And then all of a sudden she's here. Where's Carnage? And like, how did they get her? Like, did she get captured? Who captured her? Because we've never gotten a storyline about that. She escaped a bunch of other symbiotes. Who caught her? She escaped.
I don't think she's captured here. I think she's here from her own free will.
Yeah, but how did she get? She was her job before she became Agony was being a campaign organizer for a senator who she tried to kill. And, so she's not a real criminal. She's just a symbiote person. How did she get roped into the Thunderbolts?
Yeah, that makes sense.
She's no connection to any of them. She doesn't have a criminal record. She's never been doing organized crime. She has no connection to these guys or anywhere. And she ran off into nothing. So she just came out of nowhere.
Weird. Yeah.
Without any explanation. All the other villains here make sense.
Basically, this plot hole is like what's like got you upset, right? Kind of.
That plot hole, the way they're drawing U.S. Agent, the helmet, it makes no. All the cover artwork, the helmet everything looks different. Here, it doesn't even have straps.
Yeah, that's a variant cover too. You got to remember that.
All the other characters look exactly how they do in the book.
Well, they have very straightforward costume.
But you're right. Can be drawn a bunch of different ways.
You're right. No, you're definitely right. Story-wise, though, I don't agree. I do agree with everything else you've said, but story-wise, it wasn't bad. It especially for U.S. Agent, what you usually love. I thought it made him look better.
I don't like the way how in like the other books and the main title and whatever of this event, they make him seem like this terrible asshole.
Yeah. And here he's like a great guy.
He's just like kind of like, oh yeah, I don't agree with you, but doesn't do anything. The U.S. Agent I know would have beaten the literal shit out of Fisk.
You got the Purple Man's power, like influencing him to stop him because he is doing something. He's like, hey, that's not right. If this is for the law, then I'll do it. But I need you to explain it to me.
Yeah, but then he didn't do shit about it. But you know who saved the day? Rhino, because he went to the fucking champions.
Yeah. Exactly.
Rhino saved the day, not the man that should have. Not
Rhino is not under the Purple Man's influence.
Yeah, because his "I save day now" was like, I'm too stupid to be controlled.
That's something else, though. That's a different that's a different fight. Well, I'm just saying, you usually are the one that's
I know.
in US
That's why
agent.
I'm very
defense.
annoyed because I don't like
So
the way they interpreted him here. I don't like the way they did most of the characters. Like, since when can female Electro um
Electro, the
explode?
Electro.
yeah,
Uh,
Since when can she go nuclear?
I think no. That's been hinted at, or she's done that before because again, her powers are a little bit more erratic than Max Dillon's. So that's not that. I mean, again, I don't really know, but exactly how her powers differ. But her powers are.
How did you guys feel about Abomination? At least that was stupid.
that was out of nowhere, and then it's gone.
Yeah,
It came out of nowhere and it just left.
yeah. I don't know, but
This
well,
I
book
will
is
say, if
all
it
over
makes
the
you feel
place.
better, if it makes you feel better, we got a new Thunderbolts book coming up. It looks like it's going to be a different team. This is the last book for this one, so sorry you were
even
disappointed,
worse.
but it is the end.
yep.
It's not even
Hey
a
man,
Thunderbolts team.
maybe you'll get more better Thunderbolts action later, man. But
I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. I'm not getting
You're
it.
not
I'm
gonna
not
get it?
pulling it.
Okay,
but
interesting.
with that, let's move on to a more positive note. That's why we like
Might
to
as
go.
well read freaking Great Lakes Avengers.
That's why we like to go negative, and then we like to bring ourselves back up. We like to bring ourselves back up with our favorite covers of the weeks. Something that we like and that we explicitly pick. My cover for the week is it wasn't my top book of the week, but it's Robin number 12, the 1-to-25 ratio by Crystal. I hope I'm pronouncing her last name right. Kung by Crystal Kung. These two dudes giving me shit for my pick, saying that it's not a good cover. It's a good cover, man. It has
It goes back to my disappointment of not that great of a week.
For a ratio cover, I wouldn't pay over cover price for that.
Mm-mm.
I got it for an extremely great price. I got it for $8.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. A backdoor Carlos. Always.
I got it for $8. I mean,
I got it for $8. I went behind the store and I gave the guy a banana, and then I got the comic for half price.
Look, it's got a cool animation, style to it. The shadow of Batman in the background is pretty cool. It's a dope action pose. I'm not saying it's the greatest cover in the world. And yes, Manny. And yes, Manny, you're right. I will admit, when it comes to best covers of the week, I feel I share your sentiment that everything was kind of okay. And this book ended up making the best cover for the week.
I feel like the cardstock for Robin was better than that.
It's a valid.
You mean the B variant from Manipul?
Yeah, Manipul's cardstock.
Dude, great cover. This one just clinched it a little bit for me because it focuses on Robin, man, and the shadow of the bat. That's why I was. Man, lay off. That's why I was. It's my cover. Manny, what's yours?
No, I mean, no, you're right. It just wasn't that many covers. Mine is not any better. I would say it's better than yours, but it's not much better than yours. It's the Devil's Reign Villains for Hire number 3, the A cover.
Dude,
with
that cover's awful.
U.S. agent getting all his faces punched and everything.
No, not all. There's one point.
It's not awful. Look at the art. Actually, look at just the art. Be unbiased. Imagine if it was anybody else. That art is actually really good art.
Yeah.
Someone let me know where they're getting their shrooms from, because this stuff is tripping.
This is. Let me tell you, it's not even going to make the top 12 for cover of the year. But
yeah, it wouldn't make the top 20
cover this week.
For the week.
Yeah.
For the week. Right. Nick, what's yours, man?
We got
this guy talking about everybody else's.
Because this is real art. I'm showing you real art.
All right.
So we got this collab variant cover for issue 2 of Savage Spider-Man between Ron Lim and Israel Silva. Awesome colors here. I really love the shading and the highlighting throughout the whole cover. Background's really solid. I do really like it. You got all sorts of different elements going on throughout here with New York City in the background. Really solid cover. Yeah, I really liked it. The book didn't make my top 3, but
Definitely made my
interior
top
artwork
bottom.
plus really good cover, great book.
No,
Nice.
I will say also it is a better book than Robin Rachel variant cover.
Bro.
Just throwing that out there.
All right. All right.
Next week, what are you gonna pick? You freaking Bagley cover?
Oh God.
Dude.
Ugh. Yeah, no. Talking about next week.
Talk about next week. Let's finish it off with sharing what we are most excited for next week. For me, definitely the book that I'm most excited for has to be Something is Killing the Children, number 21.
Ooh, it's back.
Been on hiatus for a while.
Ever.
And we are going to be exploring the next, actual storyline of Erica Slaughter. Because after, I think it was issue number
16. No.
It was
No. 8. This is 21, 20.
This is 21, but I can't remember the exact issue. But anyways, after the main storyline that from issues 1 to 12.
16 is when it ended.
Yeah, from issues 1 through 16 or 15.
16, the hardcover.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just move on. Okay.
Anyway.
Move past
Anyways, we ended up going into the past to get in her origin, but now we're going back to the present, and it's gonna be her next storyline. So I'm really excited for that. Something's Killing Children is one of my favorite titles of all time. So yeah, that has to be my number one pick. Next week, thankfully, there's a lot of really good stuff coming out that I am really excited for. Just to throw out some quick books: Red and Black, Dark Ages. Really excited for those. But yeah, Something's Killing Children 21. The book that I'm most looking forward to. Manny, what do you got?
I'm looking forward to Rogue Sun. Out of all the books that are coming out, Rogue Sun, I'm just excited about it. It's one of the few good books that Nick picked in his top books for the week. But yeah, Rogue Sun. I'm also looking forward to Amazing Spider-Man 93, so it can be done and over with, and we no longer have to worry about Beyond anymore. Now we just have to worry about JRR and his art on the next launch. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
All right, Nick, what do you got?
There's a lot that I'm really excited about next week. A lot. Obviously Rogue Sun, like he said, I can't wait for issue 2. Issue 1, I really enjoyed a little bit more than you guys, but I'm very excited about it. Hulk, issue 5 Hulk is coming out with a Spider Hulk appearance, so I'm super hyped on that. Issue 2 of Ghost Rider, I've really loved issue 1. We have the start of Shadow War with Alpha. Obviously, like you said, Something's Killing the Children, which I'm super excited to be back from hiatus. And something I'm really excited for is the Buffy the Vampire Slayer 25th anniversary special with a really cool Corona cover that I'm very excited about.
Nice.
And then for issue 93 of Spider-Man, there's a really cool Tyler Kirkman variant that I'm super pumped is coming out. I'm super pumped.
Nice.
There's just a lot that I'm very excited about.
Which is good, man. Manny, hopefully next week, man, you'll have a hard time picking what your favorites are going to be.
I think I definitely will.
Which is good, man.
I can call it right now. No, I can't.
No, you can't. But yeah, guys, anything else before we wrap it up?
That's it.
Don't forget to eat your veggies. Always tip your local comic shop, and don't slam the door on your way out.
No, honestly, if this is the first show that you're watching of this, make sure you catch our last shows just to see where we're at. You can see our updated brackets at the beginning of this, but just check out why we thought they were our top.
Yep.
Also, check out my YouTube channel. Check out the video that me and Manny did where we recap Ryan Parrott's current Power Rangers Mighty Morphin story arc to where it is now, which filled in the gap from one of the weeks we didn't do a video.
Very cool. But yeah, guys, please subscribe, give us a like on the video. Let us know in the comments what your favorite books are. Let us know what you think of our top picks. If there's anything that we should be reading that we are not, and let us know what your favorite covers were for the week, what you're most excited about, and yeah, join in the conversation. But we'll see you guys next week. Thank you for watching.